Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for June 13th. June 13th is the 164th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 165th in leap years, with 201 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is Klondike. Klondike means a rich source of something valuable. This is named after the Klondike region of the Yukon Territory, Canada, named after the Klondike River. It was the site of a gold rush from 1896 to 1899. Earliest use of Klondike in this context is 1897. And with that, we're going to start in the year 1525, when Martin Luther married Katharina von Bora against the celibacy rule decreed by the Roman Catholic Church for priests and nuns. That Martin Luther went against the grain all over the place, didn't he? On June 13, 1774, Rhode Island became the first of Britain's North American colonies to ban the importation of slaves. Scouting ahead of the Lewis and Clark expedition, Meriwether Lewis and four companions sighted the Great Falls of the Missouri River on June 13, 1805. On June 13, 1886, a fire devastated much of Vancouver, British Columbia. On June 13, 1893, President Grover Cleveland noticed a rough spot in his mouth. A few weeks later, on July 1st of that year, he underwent a secret, successful surgery to remove a large cancerous portion of his jaw. The operation was not revealed to the public until 1970, 9 years after the president's death. The Yukon Territory was formed on June 13, 1898. Aviator Charles Lindbergh received a ticker tape parade down Fifth Avenue in New York City on June 13, 1927. This is the birthday of American actor, comedian, and producer Tim Allen, born June 13, 1953. I mostly remember him from Home Improvement, but he's been in movies and other TV shows as well. On June 13, 1966, the United States Supreme Court ruled in Miranda versus Arizona that the police must inform suspects of their rights before questioning them. U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson nominated Solicitor General Thurgood Marshall to become the first black justice in the U.S. Supreme Court on June 13, 1967. James Earl Ray, convicted assassin of Martin Luther King Jr., was recaptured on June 13, 1977, after escaping from prison 3 days before. On June 13, 1994, a jury in Anchorage, Alaska, found Exxon and Captain Joseph Hazelwood reckless for the Exxon Valdez disaster. This determination allowed victims of the oil spill to seek $15 billion in damages. On June 13, 1997, a jury sentenced Timothy McVeigh to death for his part in the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing. The number one song on June 13, 1959 was what I'd call a story song called The Battle of New Orleans. It was written by a fellow called Jimmy Driftwood, and while a number of artists have recorded this song over the years, the artist most associated with it is Johnny Horton. His version hit number one in 1959 and held that number one spot long enough to end up as the number one song for the year of 1959. I found a link for you, and it's in the show notes if you'd like to hear this song, The Battle of New Orleans. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that is called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.